Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we started off this morning with this low deck of clouds that kind of kept our temperatures pretty flat. Both inland and close to the coast, we kind of maintained a 65-degree temperature for hours. Then a little bit of sun broke through and the temperature started heating really rapidly. And just in the course of a couple of hours, we're up to 78 degrees in Sarasota. Temperatures across the region generally in the upper 70s now. 77 Arcadia, 76 Wauchula, Myakka, 77 Parrish, Bradenton. Longboat a little bit cooler, coming in at 70 because, of course, of the cooler waters nearby. 75 in Venice, 74 in Inglewood. And the coastline will indeed stay a little bit cooler today as we develop a sea breeze. At this time of year, sea breeze is still pretty effective as the water temperatures are still pretty cool. 78 degrees, as I mentioned, at the airport, and of course a dew point value coming in at 65, slightly lower than 24 hours ago. We now have a westerly component to the wind, west-southwest at about 9. That will continue on through the day. And I think the sea breeze will probably push a little bit further inland than it did yesterday. I think temperatures across the region may be a degree cooler than yesterday, maybe. We'll go with about 82 and see what happens. That's a 3 o'clock temperature, and there'll be plenty of sunshine around. As we head into the evening, it should be a nice evening. Partly cloudy sky. Should be just enough cloudiness around to, again, reflect the colors of the setting sun. And we've had such beautiful sunsets. I think that trend will continue again today. 72 by about 7 o'clock. By midnight, we start to lower the temperature into the 60s. Keep it there overnight and bottom it out at about 63 by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Could be some fog around tomorrow morning. Developing as we develop this kind of westerly flow, some of the fog could be pushed back closer to the coast, and the coastline could be more under the gun for fog tomorrow morning than it really was this morning when most of the activity was inland. Don't have a whole lot of action in the deep south today. Most of it's occurring in the Ohio Valley, stretching back into the heartland and then back into the mountainous west. We have a big ridge of high pressure sitting over us, and that high pressure ridge is going to sink southward. As it sinks southward, we're going to develop this more southwesterly wind flow, southeasterly to southwesterly wind flow. And that's going to, A, keep our coastline just a little bit cooler, and B, it's going to bring in that chance of a little bit of patchy fog close to the coast. Particularly, I think, as we head into Saturday morning, but even tomorrow morning, I think it's a possibility as well. So warm weather continues, though. That's not in question. Patchy fog, low-hanging clouds, that'll be true, I think, right into the weekend. And then mostly sunny afternoon skies as the fog and clouds burn off pretty rapidly. Bullseye for severe weather threat today, again in the heartland stretching into parts of the Ohio Valley. But for us here locally, we're not going to see much in the way of any rain whatsoever. West wind comes in today at about 10. That brings you a light chop and 2-foot seas. Nice day out there on the waters. Today's tides, a 119 high, a low tide at 6:33, and the forecast calls for 82 today, 81 tomorrow, 81 Saturday. You get the picture. We're kind of in this warm weather trend that doesn't stop on Sunday. In fact, we start to warm even further so that by the beginning of next week, we could be into the mid-80s. Scott?